You want to be at peace with yourself when you submit your application. Not that from day one that you submitted the application, you enter okay. Also for proof of fund, do go and do game. The nomination program is one of the easiest pathway.
So you say?
Yes, it's one going to be telling you that I can help you to Canada within 3 months. They are lying to you. Someone in Ojelagba that has not even traveled to Cotonou. The vibe, you. I bet invite me every day.
Hello beautiful people, and welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time here. My name is Aminat. So finally, based on popular demand, as I've gotten tons of emails, DMs and comments asking how to go about the PR application process. Well, so you know, I am not a licensed immigration consultant. I know what I know just based off research. However, today I'm privileged to have someone with me who is more knowledgeable in this field, in person of Mr. Kala, drumroll. So he would introduce himself shortly. So he's one of the admins of a group. It's known as Eagles Meeting, and they help, or they are dedicated towards helping people like us make use of the different migration options to come to Canada. And as Mr. Kala used to say, Canada is for everyone. So I'll give him the floor to introduce himself. Can I meet you, sir?
Okay, beautiful people. My name is Kolawole from Canada, and irrespective of wherever you are in the country, good evening, Canada. Good morning, Nigeria, very likely. And whatever you are, wherever you are, good day to you. My name is Kolawole I. People call me Kolilere.
Yep.
I'm a Nigerian citizen, and also I'm a Canadian. I migrated to Canada like 6 or 7 years ago. Provided free consultation to people.
Yeah.
And for the purpose of this conversation, for the purpose of this interview, I'm not a licensed immigration agent.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm planning to get licensed by the end of this year. So, but whatever I say today is based on research, and everything I will be saying today is also based on whatever that is available to everybody on the IRCC website. That's Immigration Canada website. So thank you very much, Aminat. It's good to be here today.
Thank you for honoring my invite, because Mr. Kala told me I'm going to charge you $500 for money. But then I am sure by the end of this video, you will definitely appreciate the time we're going to spend here. So my advice for you is to get your book and pen, because this is going to be a one-time thing. Hopefully it answers all your questions. So now let's dive right into it. So the first question, or what I would say, is for someone that has made up their mind to come to Canada as a permanent resident and doesn't know how to go about it. I'd like you to first explain what permanent residency is, or who a permanent resident is.
Okay, thank you very much. I mean, permanent residence is actually, we can just liken it to you having a legal status in a country, but there are some limitations as to what you can do. So in Canada, permanent residence simply means that someone that has a PR status in Canada. So what does a PR status gives you? A PR status gives you everything apart from two things. One, you are not a citizen and you can hold a political post.
Okay.
That's one of the limitations of being a permanent resident. You can hold a political post, and there are some security jobs, like high security clearance jobs, that you cannot take. Like no one will employ you for such jobs until you become a citizen. Okay. So technically, permanent resident status grants you infinite stay in a country, and after spending 3 years in Canada, you're actually eligible to apply for to become a citizen of Canada. And after that, then all those caveats, all those limitations will be removed. Like, then once you become a citizen, then you can run for a political post. Then you can also probably hold that high security clearance job. So technically, the highest, after a citizen of a country, the highest status you can also achieve in any country is becoming a permanent resident. In UK, they call it a green card. In Canada, they call it permanent resident. And in UK, they call it indefinite, like having indefinite stay. Okay. So, but the way it works in Canada is completely different. If you are a permanent resident for 3 years without leaving the country, even if you leave and come back, they cumulatively, as long as you spend over 3 years in Canada, then you are eligible to apply for to become a citizen. So Canada is a very good place. It's the easiest country where you can easily get to become a citizen within 3 years. No country will offer you that opportunity.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's what the permanent residency is.
Thank you so much for enlightening us. So now, someone that has made up their mind that, okay, Canada, yeah, I want to come as a permanent resident, what would you, or what are the first steps such person should take in embarking on this journey?
Oh, that's a very good question. First and foremost, you have to ask yourself, why am I leaving my comfort zone? Some of us actually are not in our comfort zone.
Oh, yeah.
But some people actually, they are in their comfort zone. So you have to set your expectation, and your expectation shouldn't be too high, in the sense that sometimes some people will call me, blah, 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 I want to come to Canada before the end of December. I say, are you kidding me? Or some people will just tell me that, I don't know, Canada is not, I don't think I want to come to Canada. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. You know, I can call myself the Gen Z generation of people that moved to Canada. Like I said, I moved to Canada like 6 years ago. That time it was very easy. Things were very, very easy. Your age, whatever you have that time doesn't really matter, because not many people are interested in coming to Canada that time. But right now, coming to Canada is just like a camel passing through a needle high. A Christian will understand that. So it's easy for a camel to pass through a needle's eye than you to come to Canada. So even if you have all the money. But
my God.
The good news is Canada is for everybody. But the first thing most important thing you need to do is to prepare your mind that I really want to do this. You have to put your mind on it. It's a project. It's a family project. If you are married, you have to bring your spouse on board.
Yeah.
If you are single, you have to be dedicated. It's like you are pursuing a career.
Yeah.
You can't just start today and just leave it and say you want to come back again in 6 months, because things are changing, policies are changing.
Yes,
you know?
That's true.
So like I said, 6 years ago, it was very easy for you to come to this country. But now it's really difficult. But it doesn't mean that people are not still getting people are still making it, people are still coming.
Yeah.
In fact, almost 4,000, 5,000 people entering Canada almost every other week. So a lot of opportunities here. So first and foremost, you have to prepare your mind. Do you really want it? Because sometimes when you get to Canada, some people say, "Oh, you are in the first you. I didn't want to come. I was doing very well. I was earning 5 million naira every month, and now I don't have any job." Some people will cry. They call me. I call it. We didn't tell us that this is how Canada is. I said, "Did I force you to come to Canada? Did I pick up my phone? My phone to call you? You called me, and I told you, this is it. There is hope." And things will definitely get better.
Of course.
So going back to the question, the first thing first is you have to be determined that you want to come to this country. Then you have to meet the prerequisites, like the requirement. And what are the requirements? There's so much.
Yeah.
But you know the funniest thing? They are easily achievable. The first thing first, the younger you are, the easier it is for you to come to Canada.
Yeah, the better. The
better for you. So first thing first, you have to probably done a degree program, master's degree, PhD.
Of course.
And depending on your level of education, the better for you. So let's say, for instance, if you are a PhD holder, you have Canada immigration depends on is a point-based system.
Yeah.
So point-based system in the sense that for everything you have, you get a point towards it. So
sorry to cut you, sir, but I would like to, because we know there are different streams on how to migrate here. So we have the express entry.
Yeah, federal skill worker.
Yes.
Yeah.
We also have
the provincial nominee pathway.
Then we also have
the Canada experience class.
And
lastly, the federal skill trade. Yeah, workers route. So
for now, I think we want to streamline it to the federal skilled workers, and maybe we'll touch base on
the provision. Well, thank you very much. The federal skill pathway is actually a difficult pathway right now. It's easier to get to Canada using the provincial route than the federal skill pathway. Presently now. However, if you are maybe between 25 and 30 years old and you have a master's degree or PhD, and maybe you are such a kind of a very determined person like Amina that went to do French, you know, if you can add French to your resume, if you can learn French and write the French exam, and also if you're lucky to have a sibling in Canada, good for you. But if you're not within, if you don't fall within this category, then the best pathway for you will be the provincial nomination. So now going back to the point-based system. So the point-based system is like it's a pool, like a database, where people will submit their application, and the government of Canada, the Immigration Canada department, they will rank everybody according to your score. So how do they arrive at this score? So there are basic factors that they consider before they give you a score. So there are two types of scores anyway. So there is one we call the eligibility score. I
think that's 67.
Yeah, that's 67 out of 100. You must have 67 points out of 100. And how do you arrive at that 67? So we call it the 6th selection factor. The first one is your age. So there is a there is a point that you get for age. So I think the maximum you can get for age, I don't know, I can't remember, because this will actually have been so probably easy if we do some do a form of lab, like hands-on. Online, like, so that I show you. But I'm sure Aminat is going to share some links with you guys, so that if you want to do some computation on your own, like run some numbers, you want to know if you're actually eligible, if you want to know your score, there are some calculators online on the IRCC website that you can go to and check and run some numbers for yourself.
I'll link down the CRS calculator in the description.
So one of the factors I said is age. The younger you are, the higher your age is going to be, your point is going to be. The second one is your work experience. So if you have at least 6 years work experience, you get the maximum point for work experience. I think the maximum score is 15 points. So the third one is your test of English. Do you know the funniest thing? This test of English is the most important thing. People want to come to Canada, but they don't want to write this test. I always tell them, there is no pathway, except if you want to come in as a visitor, or maybe as a student. Any other pathway, if you want to become a permanent resident, you need the test of English language exam. If anybody tells you that you can come to Canada without test of English as a permanent resident, that person is lying to you. So I will be honest with you. You know the funniest thing? I have some people that wrote this exam 18 times.
Oh my God.
18 times.
18.
And you know how much that cost? That can buy a parcel of land in Ikeja.
Mr. Kola, now IELTS is so expensive.
I heard it's close to 200 and something thousand naira now.
Or 300.
I did mine 36,000 naira.
I did mine 70.
And I failed twice, then I passed the third time. So there is no shame in it. Some people are lucky, some people are fortunate to write it once, where some people just did it. Like, I'm not lying. I have people that wrote it 10 times, 11 times, 12, even 18 times. I have 18 times. In fact, I saved the guy's number as 18 IELTS. Do you know the funniest thing? The guy is in Canada now.
Wow.
So that is what? That is consistency and determination. And that is what you need to come to this country, if you want to immigrate to Canada. So it's very important. So test of English is very important. So, and if you are the strong type and the very determined type, you can write the test of French too. Like you can, I'm sure Aminat can actually encourage you and probably show you how to do that. So you can have the test of French as well. That's good for you. So thirdly is they call it the spousal factor. So the spousal factor simply means that if your wife or your husband can also write high IELTS, he or she is gonna give you 5 eligibility points towards your point. So that's an additional 5 points to you.
To the sum total.
To the sum total. So if you also have a family in Canada, that will give you an additional 5 points.
But I think the family depends on maybe your brother, sister.
Yeah, family depends on brother, sister, grandparents, not cousins.
No
uncle. So like I said, you can always go to the website and look at, okay, what's the definition of family member. So another thing is, if you're lucky, some people are very good in what they do in their trade. If you're very lucky, maybe you're an IT guru, you are an accountant of maybe, I don't know. So you can actually get a job. And if you get a job, that's an additional point for you. You understand? So unemployment is also part of it. IELTS, age, your your spouse IELTS, your work experience, your English test, if you are lucky to do French as well, and your sibling in Canada. So those constitute the 6 selection factors. So let's put that aside. Now we have what they usually use to rank you in the database. We call that the CRS score. Full meaning is comprehensive ranking score.
Yeah.
This is the most important. Very, very important. And for you to get a higher score, like I said, you must be very young, like between the age of 25 and maybe 32. But if you are more than that, if you are older than what I just said, it doesn't mean that is the end of life.
I was about to ask that. Does it mean that those that are older than that?
It doesn't mean the end of life. But there are some things that you need to do that you can use to improve your points.
Chances. Okay.
You can challenge yourself to a French course. I mean, to go and study French.
I have someone that did DELF-DAF, and with that, he got nominated in Quebec.
Exactly.
So he did not write TEF like most of us have been doing. I'll try and find something.
Yeah, some people actually deviated from writing IELTS right now. Some people are doing self-peep also. I think IRCC started accepting self-peep as an alternative to IELTS. That doesn't mean they've stopped accepting IELTS. So you can research. See, one thing is, no matter what we tell you, you understand, everything still boils down on you. Yes. You have to research. You understand? You can't go to Ojuelegba under bridge and one agent will be telling you that I can help you to Canada within 3 months. They are lying to you. Someone in Ojuelegba that has not even traveled to Cotonou is advising you to bring money that will help you to Canada. Oh, that is in fact, that is absolutely rubbish. Yes. So you have to do your own research. You can't just sit down and say someone is helping me. You have to know what the person is doing for you. Yes. We've seen so many people that agents they've millions of naira. They've ruined they've not only scam, they've ruined their immigration history, their immigration documentation. Wow. They've done so many things. Because some will get banned, right? Exactly. Some people have been banned in US because of submitting fake documentation. And now US and Canada, you know, they are neighbors. Yes. They share database. Oh my God. If you've done something in US and you come to Canada, you want to come to Canada, possible. My brother, I tell you, they will look at it. So if you know that you've done something wrong in US and you want to come to Canada, unfortunately, this is not for you. But if you are not in that category, I can categorically tell you, I've helped hundreds of people to enter this country. This is not, I'm not being mounted here. I only provide a form of advice. And some people are ready to listen to you. And you know the funniest thing, the people that are successful in this journey are the people that are ready to listen. There is no ego in it. And husband and wife also need to agree. Who should be the principal applicant? I've settled disputes between husband and wife. Some husband are so much ignorant and so proud that they say, no, my wife cannot bring me to Canada. They want to I want to be the principal applicant. Alaye, you can't be the principal applicant. You are closer to heaven, meaning that you are older. You don't have IELTS. You didn't even pass IELTS very well. You don't even have BSc. Now, when do you get? Your wife has masters. She has everything. How do you want to become the PA? I want to become the PA. My wife will use it against me in the future. Bro, lower your ego. Ignorance will not do this. It won't take you anywhere. So the most important thing is you have to, like I said, you have to bring both of you have to sit down and agree how you want to pursue this project. It's a project. I won't lie to you. And another thing that I failed to mention is your proof of fund. You have to have a blank. You need a blank check. And what I mean by a blank check is you can't put a budget on Canada immigration because one, exchange rate is going up every day. Yes, it is. The cost of IELTS might change. It is even changed. Like when I wrote my TEF exam, it was 210,000. Now they said TEF exam is 700 and something thousand. So everything is just like, and that's and you don't want to write IELTS. Maybe your salary is 400,000 or 200,000 and IELTS is 230,000. You don't want to write IELTS unprepared. You don't need to deceive anybody. You can't continue paying for IELTS out of your $200,000 naira salary. How do you want to sustain that? So the best thing to do is When you are ready to write your IELTS,
you go for
prepare.
it.
Don't say I've seen. See, bro, my people. I've seen people where they speak English.
No, me say
Correct English. Correct English. That you go, you even strain your hair to what? To even for you to hear to them. Forget it. Na lie, na packaging. Then they fail IELTS.
Of course.
It's not about how you speak.
Lawyers.
The only thing they will pass is speaking. And speaking will not only carry you to.
You need the full part.
You need the full 4 modules.
Yeah.
At least we have his number. We have a number we always tell people that target this number.
Yeah.
Once you target this number, your leg is almost at the airport to Canada.
I think for listening is 8.
For listening is 8. If you can score more than that, good for you.
Yeah. For
other module, the remaining 3 modules is 7 points. Yeah. If you can make 877, you have masters, you're young, you have a sibling in Canada, I'm telling you, call Aminat.
Don't call me a Gemma.
I mean, link Aminat up and she will definitely provide some form of assistance to you. But you have to be very serious. And going back to the proof of fund matter, you have to have a open check. Blank check, the reason why I said blank check is because very likely you will not pass IELTS once. Very likely. So you don't want to budget 200,000 for IELTS, and at the end of the day, you fail that IELTS. Now you have to write it again, and that's why I say you have to have open check.
For some people, because it expires within 2 years.
Yes.
Before they gather some of their documents together, it expires.
Before they even pick them.
Yeah, and they have to.
write another one. And the funniest thing is, writing the other one, you must either beat that previous score or have the same score. You understand? I don't know why on earth they will say your IELTS expires. Can you speak English and forget English in the next 2 years? But that's the question for the government of Canada.
They want money now. It's their money making scheme.
So, but one thing I want to tell you is your IELTS expires in 2 years.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that everything you want to do, you want to do within that year.
Yes.
And the only time your IELTS is safe is after submitting your application. Then you are good. Even if you submit your application today, your IELTS expires the next day.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
As long as that application is, probably pass the what we call the out-10 test. Out-10 check. That's completeness check. So once it's passed the completeness check, you're good to go. You're good to go. Very important thing is you need a strong will. You need to decide on what you want to do and how you want to achieve it. You have to sit down with your spouse. If you're married, draw a plan how you want to achieve it. You have to ration funds as well. If you are the family that has that income is not that much, you need to ration it. Okay, Daddy, you're the one that is writing IELTS first.
Yes.
And after you've passed, I will write my own too next month.
Yes.
Then after that, we can both go and do what we call, I miss that. We call it educational credential assessment. You also have to do that. I think right now that costs around $280 or so. So you also have to ration the funds. That's okay. Who should go first? Yes. Let's do your own first. Yeah. You know? So, but if you have the money, you can actually start this process all at once, because the earlier the better for you, because things are changing. Immigration laws are changing. Yes. For now, they've not stopped people coming into Canada. But is it going to happen in the future? Who knows? Who knows? We don't know. So, but one thing I know that that's always that always get me encouraged is, when you set your eyes on something, make sure you go for it and don't waste time on it, because anything that you are not in control of, you can't help it. Yes. So the best thing is go for it and kill it. Also, thank you so much for the information shared. Just to say, it's not as if it's a bed of roses here. There will be challenges, of course, like I used to say. Yeah, that's another phase. Actually, that's when you land. After landing in Canada, then that chapter of coming to Canada is another one. Done. Then the chapter of now living and flourishing in Canada is another chapter. But do you know one thing? It's the easiest part. The part of coming here is the difficult part. But the part of navigating Canada as a system and becoming established in Canada, honestly, is the easiest part. Well, I think there are some factors that determine how easy it is. One, for example, the people you meet with are very, very much important. I want to wonder if maybe I have not met you. There are some vital information that you've shared, and
Truth be told, it has really helped settling down.
Yeah, I agree with you. If you have the right click, and you have people that are willing to help you,
yes,
that know what to do,
they have the right
they know how to guide you. But you know the funniest thing, even it can only advise you. The bottom line is the decision is still yours.
Yes, of course.
You understand? But if you are the coachable type, we call it coachable people. If you are the coachable type, you listen. Not everything that you listen to makes sense. But it will now be to you to pick whatever is vital, whatever is not vital. You know, you don't want to come to Canada and start saying, okay, when the people that are already established in Canada, they are renting an apartment that is $5,000, and you are coming in want to say, I want to be like this guy. You don't know what this guy has faced.
Yes.
You don't know where this guy started from. You just want to say, okay, you want to be, you know, there is nothing like copycatting here. It's good to copycat good things, but not until you can afford it.
Yes, yes.
You understand? So as far as I'm concerned, so many people that landed here, probably some of them are even in debt. You know, but trust me, within 3, 4, 5 months, they will clear all those debts. How will they do that? That's the story for another day.
That was what I was about to say. So now, coming back home, we've talked about the federal skilled workers. Can you please touch base on the provincial nomination?
Okay, so the provincial nomination program is one of the easiest pathway.
So you say?
Yes, it's one of the easiest pathway to come to Canada.
Why do you say so?
Yeah, the reason why I said so is because in Canada has a very small population. And for your information, Canada is the second largest country in the world.
Yeah.
And they need population. Population drives the economy. And so the government of Canada now gave every province the flexibility and liberty that, okay, if there's any skill shortage in your province, and you can identify them, you can actually create a pool, like a database, where you can invite people to submit an application, and you can decide to choose if you want them to come to your country, to your province. So that the way it works is, let's say for instance, some province will select you to come to their province only because of what you do, like your profession.
Okay.
Some province will have some conditions that you must have a friend in that province.
Does friend work? I think it's only family members.
No, there's friend in like in Manitoba. Friend. But do you know the funniest thing? The only thing is the point that you get for friend is very low. But the point you get for a family member, okay, in Manitoba, let me use Manitoba for example.
Okay.
In Manitoba, if you claim that you have a friend will only give you 50 points. But if you claim that you have a family member, like cousins, anything, that will give you, or sibling, that will give you 200 points.
I never knew you can get points from friends.
Yeah, you can get points from your friend. But the only thing is, you have to prove the friendship. You have to prove the familiar relationship with your sibling or your cousin or wherever or your uncle, your aunt, wherever you're claiming. You understand? So now you submit an application into that province portal. Then probably on a monthly basis, fortnightly, it could be any time, they go into the pool, they say, okay, all right, based on the score we have here, we are picking a minimum cutoff point of this. If your score falls within that range, they will send you what we call a letter of invitation to apply. Like they will invite you to submit a full application to the province. After reviewing your application, if they find you interesting and everything goes the way it should, they will now give you 600 points.
Yeah.
So the 600 points, by the time you add it to whatever point you have in the federal, express entry pool, which is the CRS score, there is no way they will conduct any draw that they will not pick you.
Of course. Because presently, I don't think there's any score that has reached 600.
Exactly. So, but how many so the following provinces are the ones that actually do provincial nomination: Manitoba, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia, and Ontario.
Okay, just 5.
Yeah, just 5. So Alberta and Ontario, they usually go into the federal express entry pool to pick people. So they don't have a separate database where you can go and submit your application. Unlike Manitoba, Manitoba has a separate application portal where you go to submit your application.
Okay.
Saskatchewan, they also have their own separate portal where you go to submit the application. So those are the ones. So once they find you interesting, they evaluate, they review your documentations, everything. They give you the 500, the 600 points. You add it to whatever you have. Next draw, the federal draw will pick. Once they pick you, then they will send you a letter of invitation to go and apply for the permanent residence. And after getting the application, submitting the application is also another stage. Yeah. Very, very important stage. But that is not this. That is the story for another day.
Sorry to cut you. What's the difference between the federal skilled, is it federal skilled? Yeah. Federal skilled workers and the provincial nomination? What is
basically they're the same, but the federal skilled work, I mean the provincial nominee is just that you have to go to a province.
Okay.
The province is sponsoring you.
Yeah.
So meaning that you have an obligation on the part of you when you enter Canada, you have to go to that province. But if you come in through the federal skilled workers route, we call stream, you can decide to go to any province you decide you choose. So that's one major thing. They have the same application portal, which is the Federal Express Entry Pool. The Federal Express Entry Pool is just a database. It's not an application. Some people always mix it up. Oh, Federal Express Entry. I mean, Express Entry Pool. Express Entry is just like a database where everybody goes to submit an application. Once your application is in there, that is where the government of Canada or IRCC, that is where they manage the pool of applicants. That is where they rank you based on your CRS score. Okay. So every 2 weeks, I think, or 3 weeks, they go there and conduct a draw. They now pick a particular cutoff threshold. Once your score falls within that range, they will send you a letter of invitation to go and apply for the permanent resident visa.
Okay.
Yes. So basically the difference between the two is just that one is provincial based, one is federal based.
Okay, so now thank you, sir. So from what you said, whether for provincial or for the PNP, one, you need to decide your why. Why do you want to move?
Yeah.
And then secondly, you have to, like, if you are married, you have the conversation with your spouse, because who the primary applicant is very vital, very important. Yes.
Yeah. Most importantly, what you do is just do the simulation, which should be the prayer. You don't need to fight the numbers. Just put in the numbers. Make your husband run the simulation with your husband profile first, then run the simulation with yours. Yeah. Whoever comes out with the highest score will definitely be the principal applicant.
Yes. Then your proof of fund, which is very, very important.
Your proof of fund depends on your family size.
Yes. So
the size if you're planning to come to Canada, zip up. So don't plan to
And another advice is if you have money, try to save it in.
Yeah, if you really want to come to this country and you're really, really serious about it, if possible, you can kindly convert your money to Forex.
Yes.
Keep your money in Forex.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
don't wake up one day and have high blood pressure.
Yeah, even if the naira fluctuates, you are covered.
Yes.
So have your money in Forex.
Yeah. So then also your work experience.
Yeah, it's really matters. Your work experience matters. You can't just cook up something, and you're also going to at the end of the day make sure you are a good employee, because they might come to your employer to verify your work experience.
Yeah.
Do like your boss, because the call might actually come to your boss. Or if your boss decides to say, okay, this guy is not working here, or he has not started working yet since
or he's not a good,
or it's not even a good, they might ask a simple question that, okay, how long has this person been working? And maybe probably you put 8 years. The boss will say, no, I just hired him 3 years ago. You understand? So you want to have a good relationship with your employer, because they might actually come for verification. And also for proof of fund. Don't go and do Genje. I tell people. I've seen
which one is Genje? Explain.
Genje is people that you go to the bank and they put money in your account and they remove the money again. You know? Honestly, to me, it doesn't make sense. Do the right thing and leave every other thing in God's hand. Because you don't want to do something wrong and turn it to a prayer point. Say, God, my country. Honestly, it's better you do the right thing.
Yeah, and have the peace of
mind, because it's a long journey. You want to be at peace with yourself when you submit your application. Not that from day one that you've submitted the application, you enter okay, or you start fasting, or I'm praying. Don't turn into a prayer point.
Yeah,
just make sure you do the right thing. So, like we said, your work experience matters. Make sure you are in good standing with your employer. It's very, very important. Also, you need to identify, which is very key. You need to identify your NOC. You need NOC is like a job description, what you do.
Yeah.
A gatesman in Canada is if I'm a gatesman in Nigeria. A gatesman in Nigeria will wash madam's car. Sometimes madam will send gatesman to market. In Canada, a gatesman will only open gate.
Yeah.
That is your job description. But in Nigeria, a gatesman will do so many things.
Yeah.
If a gatesman will drive burger, you understand? So you have to identify your NOC, your NOC. We call it
important.
National Occupation Classification. You have to go on the website of Canada, Government of Canada, identify your NOC. If you find it difficult to identify your NOC, Google it. Put in your job description. It will give you what your NOC is.
Yeah. So I think that is all for now.
Yep.
Thank you so much for coming, and thank you for honoring our invite. So if you have any question, put it in the comment section. But before that, help us to thank Mr. Kola, because I'm sure what you heard are valuable information that if you had to pay, and you would even have to pay an agent to give you this. So thank you so much, Mr. Kola.
I'll end with this.
Okay.
Like you said, Canada is for everybody. If I can come to Canada, you can also make it. But the only difference between us is determination. Are you determined to come to this country?
Yeah.
If you are determined, you join us here. So Canada is for everybody. Canada is for all. So think it, and I believe you can achieve it.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, Aminat.
Thank you.
And I hope you guys have a lovely day. Because
you are my first, the first person that I'm inviting on my channel. So
yes.
Have a sit down.
Oh God, yeah, you.
So permit us to give you this token.
A gift? Oh my God.
Something small, new.
What the vibe, new? I bet invite me every day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
This morning,
if you have, Mr. Kola, let's wrap this up. So if you have,
thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. So if you have any question, you can put it in the comment section, and hopefully we get to have him there answering or replying to some of the questions. So until next time, we'll see you. Bye. Maybe we can shoot another video.
Thank you very much.
Is it the trades and
yeah, we can. I mean, the Canada Experience class. The Canada Experience class is actually for people that are already in Canada. Yes. So, but the trade one is very dicey. But yeah, we can talk about it.
Another one is, like you suggested earlier, a live.
Yeah, a live demo. Yeah, that is my like, I love it so much. So I show you things online, like demonstrate things online. This is what you do. This is this. We can even do a case study. Like maybe some of you online, you can give us your data and we can slot it into the simulator, and then we can run the numbers for you. And you can even ask live questions. Yeah, that would make it more interactive. And it will really go a long way because I like learning, can see things that some form of presentation. So it goes a long way. It goes a long way, like rather than talking to the camera. Yeah, this is actually the first time I'm doing something like this. I don't know, maybe I even try it, but
you try,
no matter what,
we accept it like that. Thank you so much, sir. We really do appreciate you.